Yo!
Yeah, what? I don't even know what to say. I'm so surprised.
Wow.
Welcome
worked.
to the new meta, episode 77. 77. Welcome back, dude. It has been forever. You know, it does feel like forever since we've done a podcast, and it's really only been 2 weeks.
I know.
So it becomes part of your daily, weekly habit, man.
Yeah.
So welcome back from the Shire. How was the Shire? Tell me about the Shire.
Just the Shire or New Zealand?
I want to hear about everything, but the Shire specifically. Like, that looked pretty dope.
Yeah, man, it was huge. Like, I didn't expect Hobbiton to be so big. It was there's like 20 plus Hobbit holes, and there's like this whole acreage area. It was insane. It was really big.
That's cool. So did you get to go inside of one of the houses?
Yeah, there's nothing in them, but you can go inside several.
And they're like mini sized, so like your head was hitting the roof like Gandalf
Yeah,
and shit.
but then you go in the Green Dragon, and that was like a whole actual place. Like, we had like a feast and beer.
That's cool, man.
It was dope. But,
Yeah, so let's start, I guess, with the trip. Like, we'll get into. There's a lot of Diablo news, but I'm curious how to break this up, because PoE is part of that too. But let's just start with the trip, the travel. Everything goes smooth. You have a nice time.
Yeah, man. Like, so I feel like I planned everything to the minute, and it was literally to the minute. Like, it was insane. Like, we would arrive 1 minute like before we had to be places, and we just had so much stuff to do per day. But I can't imagine like any other way to do it. It was phenomenal.
Was it stressful, like, having that little time?
Yeah, but
like,
at the same time, it's like it's super adventurous to do it that way. I don't know. Because you're like, it keeps you on like a schedule too. Like, there's no fucking around. Like, you're not gonna be like, oh, I'm a little tired this morning, so I'm just gonna like sleep. Like, you just can't.
Yeah, you're just like, we gotta get up, gotta go. Yeah,
right. So it was
locked yourself in a parking car garage.
Yeah, it was fucked. So like,
how long were you there for?
Like an hour.
Tell the story. Tell the story in case somebody missed it.
I was at ExileCon, and I parked my motorbike under ExileCon. Like, there's like this whole parking garage, and it's like cool because motorbikes could park there for free. I'm like, awesome, this is dope. And so I get all my gear. We had to leave at 5:45 in the morning to make it to like all those things we were doing. And so I go down there at 5 o'clock, and like the doors open, but it's like pitch black. I'm like, well, this is fucking weird. And so I go and I like turn on my motorbike and I start to drive out, but the like garage is locked. It's like to get out, it's like chained to the ground, which is weird because like I don't know if it's the same in St. Louis, but like Kansas City has all these parking garages and they're like self-maintaining, so you just like get a ticket, and then when you're leaving, you just pay, right? And it just like the door opens up. So that's kind of how I expected it to be. So I'm driving around, and like none of the doors will open, so I'm like, I get a ticket, and I like reinsert the ticket, even though I'm not supposed to get one as a motorcycle, and it like wasn't lifting the doors. I'm like, what the fuck? So there's like 3 exits, and I drive to all of them. They're all locked. I'm like, well, this is stupid. And so then I park, and I walk back up the way I came. It's like, well, maybe I'll find a security guard. But then the door I came in from was now locked.
So you're stuck in this garage.
I'm literally, so then there's like 4 actual walking out exits, and so I had to walk to each one of them locked. So I'm like, what the fuck? And so then there's like a helpline. There's a help button when you're inside there. It's like, push this for help. So I'm like, I mean, this seems like an appropriate time. So I like hit that, no response. And so then I call Lindsay, and I'm like, I'm fucking trapped. I'm literally trapped. And so we like track down a phone number and finally get like a phone number, and like I call the person, and they're like, oh yeah, the parking garage isn't open until 8 a.m. I was like, well, I'm actually literally trapped in here right now. So like, can someone come just like let me out? And she's like, well, it can take like she's like, this is the only probably rude person I've encountered in New Zealand. Everyone was super nice, but she's like, it would probably take like an hour or 2 for someone to even get out there. So do you want to just like wait? Like, I was just like, no, like, get me out of here. And she's like, I mean, okay, I'll send a security guard your way. I don't know how soon it will be. And then like hangs up. But then she tells me like where to go to meet the security guard. So I'm like, I go to that place, but the place that she tells me to meet is also like behind a locked gate.
Right.
With no way of like getting through or him like seeing me. So I'm like, cool. So then I tried to call the number back, and no one answers. I'm like, fucking awesome.
Yeah, now she's ghosting you. Right.
And so I just walk around, and I go to like the most open exit I can find, and I'm like, hello, like, is there anybody out there? And it just happened to be like 2 security guards walking by, and the guy's like, what the fuck are you doing in there? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I got locked in here. I don't know how. Somehow it was open and now it's closed. He's like, well, like he opens the door and he's like, you can come out or whatever. And I was like, cool. I was like, can you unlock the garage downstairs? He's like, but it doesn't open till 8, so I can't. Like I was like, but you have the keys? He's like, I do, but I can't legally. I can't open it. I'm like, if I give you $50, will you open it? He's like, you got the cash on you? I'm like, yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, and he got me out. Yeah.
So you had to pay him $50?
Yep.
That's funny.
We had so much to do that day, like I had to get out. So
yeah.
but
Dang, you started high. 50.
Yeah.
I would have been like 10. I would have been like $10.
oh, it's
man.
50 Kiwi bucks. That's like, $2.
Oh, is it?
No,
Yeah.
it's like a 1.6 or something. But
He said Kiwi dollar. What do they call their currency? Do you know? I have no idea.
I think it's just New Zealand dollar, I think.
It's just called a dollar?
Yep.
Okay. Interesting, man. So sounds like you had some good times. We'll revisit in a little bit
Sure.
the New Zealand trip.
Sure.
But the season started, obviously, since we had the last podcast.
Last night when I started.
Yeah.
That's
so
when I started.
What do you think so far, man?
It seems really powerful. Like really strong. Which we kind of anticipated.
Yeah, let's hit let's talk about the poll.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of just skipped right over that.
So 2 weeks ago, we asked, would you rather them wait for further balance in season 19 or just have them launch it the season next week? And now this is outdated, but it should still be up to date with information. So option 1 is wait, let's get this shizzle balanced. Or 2, no, we want it now. Pretty fucking split. Holy crap.
Yeah, that is pretty close.
Like 51 to 49. Wow.
Yep.
Damn. With
let's get it balanced. Was the winner barely?
Won. Yeah.
I mean,
That's crazy split down the middle. Did not expect that.
yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, what ended up happening is they put a balance patch out
Yeah.
right before the season went live with not a lot of testing time, but
I was so upset because my barb nerf didn't make it through. Oh,
Oh man. You pulled really hard for that, but that's okay. You got Crusader nerfed, so
Goddamn right.
know.
I did? What happened?
well, kind of.
Yeah.
But the poll for next week. That we
So
have.
obviously we're going to get into this a bit today. And so I'll spam it in chat real quick. But just right out of the box, what has you more hyped right now? Diablo 4, PoE 2.
Okay. We'll get back to it. Go vote now. That way we don't influence the vote.
Do it.
It's something else that's really been interesting the last couple of weeks is the amount of blue posts. I don't know if you've seen this.
Dude, Matt is crushing
Matt's
it.
he's going crazy on the forums.
He's going wicked hard.
Yeah.
So
that's
my Boston accent.
Boston accent?
Yeah.
He's going hard on the forums, man. He's responding to all kinds of stuff that you just never see. So, like, is the balance guy at D3 drunk was one of the posts, and he responded to that guy. He's like, no, I assure you they're not, and it's cool, man.
Yeah.
I like it. I like to see.
Yeah, he's got a really good sense of humor.
Stuff.
So, like, he can handle some of this really well.
I think he gets it. Like he knows how to reply to people and stuff. But it's really cool, man. It's awesome to see that Diablo 3. It seems like it's woken up a little bit since the D4 announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Like, maybe they're getting permission to post about things and say things and I guess maybe try to help build some hype for rolling into D4 too.
There's no risk of like someone accidentally slipping and saying something, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe now like the floodgates are open. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. I like to see that. And then but some of the stuff that he talked about is like, I don't know if you've encountered the seasonal or the community grouping bugs and some of the things that are going on where it makes it really hard to get in parties with people. Like I play with community members all the time, and it's super frustrating. So they're addressing that. They're talking about that. But I think honestly, one of the biggest things to me that he's posted was his little bot thing.
Yeah,
Did you
that's
have
juicy AF.
That's interesting. Why don't you read that just in case the listeners didn't get to see this?
Yeah, so he replies to this thread that was originally about like, is THUD bannable or not? Is what someone basically asks, and then they make a whole post. He goes, TurboHead has some cool features, but on the other hand, has some features that give players more of an advantage. In the past, TurboHead fell by the wayside and didn't catch the attention of anti-cheat programs. We'll have more to say on this in the very near future, but to answer your question, TurboHead is seen as a program that should not be used in the game in its current state. As for bots, their time's coming.
That hits all my tingly spots, man. That makes me smile. Like, I can it just makes me smile, dude. And I'm happy about that. Like, I really, like, man, Blizzard said this in the past. You know what I mean? They've said it in the past, but I really hope this time at least for a small window that they just kick ass for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or make maybe these guys regret spending money to keep buying new licenses.
Yeah.
You know?
What was so weird to me was, we talked to that guy last year.
Yeah.
At BlizzCon.
Yeah,
we can't say much about it.
I don't even remember his name, but he was the security guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
We had such an impression after that conversation that, like, okay, like, things are happening.
Yep.
And then just radio silence. So
maybe
this means like that
maybe
thing's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe this is that.
That'd be fucking dope.
It just makes me, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder what's changed in the last couple months. That it's like we got new sets now. Mm-hmm. Now they're going to address botting. The communication lines are open not only for Diablo 3, but even for D4, which we're going to get to in a second too. But it's like Blizzard's listening, maybe? I don't know, man. It's like the communication's crazy right now. So
it's and like the amount of information, like the article, like this is probably one of the first podcast schedules I can remember where it was like
easy.
There's so much, like we can't cover it. Like it's just so weird. All those months of like just scraping and scouring the dark web for like information to talk about, and now it's like it's just there's too much to fit into a schedule, which is fucking great.
It's phenomenal, dude. I don't know. Then that bot thing has me super excited, and if I were somebody that was botting, I'd be a little nervous. I'd be like, oh shit, my account.
Your time's coming, you rat.
Well, hopefully, man. We'll see what happens. Don't count your chickens, but it's
it's funny because like a conversation sparked. I'm curious your opinion on this. A conversation sparked like in my Discord where someone was like, okay, if they ban TurboHead, like a lot of players are going to leave the game. I'm not even going to say anything. What are your thoughts?
That's fucking stupid. No offense. Like, if you're saying you're not going to play the game if you have to have a cheat program to use it. So, like, a conversation sparked in my chat last night about it where it was like, TurboHead's not that bad. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, yeah, it is. It unfogs the map and gives you pylon placement at minimum. At minimum, those are huge advantages.
Those are terrible,
Because I can't even tell you like how many rifts I would have cleared had I known, there was a pylon around the corner.
Just those two things. I didn't know. Why are you playing huge. Diablo? Like literally half of the point of Diablo almost is like you don't know where you're going, and it's like this like
I mean the amount of information it gives you is crazy for the user. I do think that some of the things that it adds are pretty cool.
Sure.
Like moving the convention of elements ring thing to the middle of your screen, baller. That's really cool. I don't know, man. I honestly don't really even know what feature sets it adds to like really know for sure. But there are some cool things that it does that maybe Blizzard could borrow.
Sure.
But if people quit or get banned for using TurboHead, you knew the risks when you used it. So like you used the cheat software to cheat at the game, and now you're banned, or you don't want to play without it. Like good riddance.
Yeah.
See ya. That's how I feel.
I agree. People are like, oh, we're going to leave. We don't have, like, go, bye. Like,
I'll play with all the other legit players out there and have a good time.
Yeah, it's so silly. I get it. Like, here's at the end of the day, I understand why people get defensive about THUD because they do like some of the other features. But I feel like that's more of like a shroud for like the bigger picture of like it's such a huge advantage, and
Yeah.
to say that it's not cheating is just such folly. And so all the people that keep coming into chat and like making arguments it's pointless, man. You're just wrong. You're just wrong.
Oh, I know the right direction to go in every rift every time. You know,
That's not big of a deal. Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. So, you know, it's pretty. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And the same point, that the argument that I did make a little bit is that there's a huge difference to me though, as far as the crime committed between actual botting and using Turbo
Yes. 100%.
It's not near on the same level.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that.
Give me like a
TurboHud
fraction.
users are, yeah. So like I think that going forward, if they decide that they're going to ban for TurboHud and they never have in the past, they should say, okay, you've got your slap on the wrist. We've warned you. Your email has been sent to your account. Don't do it again. And if you do it again, then you're out. And like that's fine. Yeah. If they want to give people a warning for TurboHud the first time around, like cool. I'm okay with that too. Yeah.
So, but like, give me a fraction. So, like, botting is the worst, obviously, offense. But like, how much does THUD piss you off in comparison?
Little. Like, I mean, like fraction. What?
Yeah.
Like botting, 15%, 10%. I mean, it's pretty little comparatively. Sure. If they ban bots, but for some reason, let's just say that they couldn't detect THUD. Okay.
Sure.
You know, like it
still
sucks,
but yeah, it's fine.
It still sucks, but okay. You know, like, yeah. So.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let's see. So the season 19, the seasonal theme. If you get
hang on 2 seconds. So I just wanted to point out something because Dusky made a tweet about it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. They're
Is it hardcore?
It's been going on for a while. I already know where you're going.
Yeah, like literally people with the guild name ROS bot are like with 23-hour uptime. Like,
yeah, they're literally trolling Blizzard by putting the cheat software in the name of their guild that they're using.
Yeah, like
and with 23-hour uptime.
Come on,
like that's.
Come on,
slaying
these guys hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what if it? That's like hardware ban level bullshit.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Like you're gonna mock us on top of it.
It's like, oh, you guys aren't gonna do shit. Like, here's my new guild name. Like, I'd be like, fuck these guys. I'm going after you.
I'd be super pissed. I would too. I'd go fucking hard at those guys, man. Anybody that was in the guild ROS bot, I'd fucking hardware ban them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and it brings up the fact that other people are saying this too. The reason that this even got brought up in my stream is because people were like, Quinn's gonna get banned. Quinn's gonna get banned. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You know what I mean? And they're like, Quinn was taking materials from botters or something. And I'm like,
how would he possibly know, right?
Yeah, I'm like, first off, like, how would he know that? And second, like, that just brings up the whole gray area. Well, if these guys are going to start buying accounts to bot to feed their main bounties, like, there's only so much that Blizzard can do. But if they get on those bots fast and they ban fast, people are going to keep shelling out $20 to $60 a pop to get to feed bounty mats to their main.
Sure.
Like that's dedication. So. But yeah, that's
more money. I don't see why we always go through this. Like, I still don't see why they don't just do it all the time, because you could potentially sell more copies and make more money.
Yeah,
for a game that doesn't have like microtransactions and can't generate any profit.
You're gonna reduce server load.
Yeah,
you're gonna reduce server load. You're going to be able to post that you ban botters, which makes your legitimate players happy.
Yeah.
And then you're going to sell more copies for the botters that want more more accounts to play on. It's a win-win-win, man. That's a triple threat, dude. So, yeah, like I said, the time's coming. I can't fucking wait for the podcast after that shit happens. Like, when this starts up, I'm just going to be grinning. It's going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, back to the season. The seasonal theme is super juicy, and if you get the timing right, I actually had Meteors Fall to kill like a triple pack of elites to spawn Rift Guardian, and then had the Angels there for the RG. And then, as long as the Rift Guardian doesn't kill them, they're not too bad. Not too bad. So
I'm just looking through some numbers. So Crusader is a 142 softcore. Barb's already at a 139. Whirlwind. DH 122. She's a Marauder, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Monk, probably the new set? Maybe?
It's probably some Wukos.
Samwuko.
It is
That's
new set.
Yeah. I've seen mods doing some crazy shit with that. Necro, I don't think anybody's playing. Chirp, chirp. I saw the fucking Thorns is up here still. 116. I'm like, what the? No, get it out of here. What the hell are you doing so high? Witch Doctor 123. Right, LOD. Yeah. And Wizard coming in at 129 probably here. Yeah.
Yeah, the power, like the power is not, the leaderboards aren't super representative because it's so unbalanced. Everybody's playing Barber Crusader this season.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that you can even do metas with just, the 3 classes that got juiced up, Monk, Satyr, and Barb, I think is phenomenal personally because they added new sets for the two new sets are in the speed meta, or well, the new set's not, but the classes is. The two they're in a speed meta, and Barb got juiced, and it's in the speed meta, and I think it's phenomenal. I think it's fun. Mm-hmm. It's nice not doing rats this season for sure.
Yeah,
so
they're still technically better though, right? Technically,
I think so personally. Yeah. I mean, I'm not pushing the number
what is
one
the
Paragon
speed meta
farming,
that like you've been doing?
It's it's one Whirlwind Barb,
okay.
One Z Barb, one Z Monk, and RGK, which is typically a Crusader because they're badass. So that the builds are slightly different than like Rat meta.
Sure.
It's more like a pull Barb style, and it's a shield monk instead of a globe healing monk.
Yeah.
I think they still use globes to give you more shield, but it's a shield monk, which lets the Whirlwind Barb put squirts on and not take damage, so you get that 100% bonus. And then you use a big ass two-hander.
Does a Whirlwind Barb not like lag out the group, or is it just up to
No, it doesn't. It's still, I mean, it still works okay. And as you start to get higher, you can just drop area damage. If you start when you start getting high enough rifts to create lag, you can drop the area damage up. Gotcha. You don't really need it to do the crazy damage.
Good to know, dude.
So, yeah, it's fun, man. I've been running it some, and it's a blast. I'm doing the Whirlwind damage DPS portion, and it's fun. It's comparing it to Rats. As playing like every single position in Rats forever, it's more relaxed. With Rats, you kind of have to worry about your positioning. Where am I standing? Don't stand in dumb shit. Don't get hit. And with Whirl, it's just like hold right click, fall asleep. Yeah, So
yeah, I get it.
It's cool. But that being said, I still kind of like I haven't done Rats in a while. Like not super juice. I feel like Whirlwind metas may be better at the start. But if you got a Lawn Rat, if you got 2 Lawn Rats super geared up, I think they would crush. I think they'd crush it.
Sure.
I'm not really sure.
I'm sure.
Because my barb's not super ridiculous Paragon and augmented yet either. So, but it's fun, man. I like it. So, and your thoughts so far on the season? You're playing Crusader. I saw.
Yeah.
I mean, the new sets, juicy.
800 Paragon, no big deal. I've been playing it like the Fist of Heaven's way, which I know is not the better way, but it's been fun. I never made a Crusader, so like that part is exciting. But yeah,
cool.
New seasonal theme is. I remember them like being like, oh yeah, we nerfed like the Angels, we nerfed the Tornadoes, but they both seem to be really, really fucking strong still.
The Angels are definitely not what they were. They would one-shot Rift Guardian before, and I had them beat on a Rift Guardian for a little bit, and I think it was actually Butcher, and he did like the little hook thing and like killed them all.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, dude, like it was pretty cool. So it's kind of like you want to protect them if at all possible. Yeah. But seasonal themes, it's good. I like it. It's kind of passive at times. You don't really worry about it, and then sometimes you try to time it up, and you're like, it's hard to because you're like, well, I can't get Rift Guardian without killing shit, and if I kill shit, I'm going to spawn my meteors.
Yeah.
Fuck. So it just is what it is.
Sure. At least it's mixing it up, right? Like,
yeah, it's cool. I think it's every season. It's the theme's a little bit better than the one before. Mm-hmm. This is, I think better than the one we had last year.
I keep my mind keeps going back to like, so everyone's farming 150s, like farming. Would you? I think we've asked this before, but would you rather see them just like nerf everything across the board, so just 150 is just not even achievable, or would it be too? Would it feel too bad to go from doing 120s to like pushing a high 90 again?
I think power is relative. I think if everybody is dropped 40 rift levels right now, you're going to be like, dude, I'm doing 60s. And then everybody's going to be like, hey, I'm doing 62s. I'm doing 70s. Yeah. I think power is relative to what everybody else is doing. If you're a solo player and you only played solo and never did group, maybe that would bother you more.
Sure.
But I think if you look at the leaderboard and you're still at the same position you would have been had they not nerfed everything, that's fine. I think, honestly, I think the race now isn't to do the 150. It's who can do the 150 first,
sure,
who can do it the fastest.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like with the way the state of bots and the state of Paragon, that's the real race. That's the seasonal thing is like, let's race to max level, race to get the 150. Once you do that, because you can do that in a window where bots don't have any influence over that.
Sure.
I mean, maybe a little. Like if maybe somebody bots while they sleep or some shit. I don't know, the first night. But that's going to have a lot less impact. So I kind of feel like that's the thing. And I kind of like that being a thing because it eliminates Paragon and bots out of the equation to an extent. You know what I mean? There's not like 5K Paragon at the end of the season.
But let's just assume like they actually kill him. Do you think that people just freak the fuck out if they just lost like 40 GR creep?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, okay? Another hypothetical. So say everyone gets like nerfed, right? Across the board. But as part of this, kind of like, it's not a stat squish because they're just kind of like nerfing everything across the board.
Yeah.
But as part of this, the sets like, they get more balance. So like they're within like 2 GRs of each other. Like all of them. Literally all of them.
Because you could do that with a stat squish. I feel like you would have the data you need.
I mean, they have the data they fucking need anyways, but yeah. But yeah, do you think that would pad the blow?
Maybe. I don't. Does D3 to you feel like it's the game that needs to have every single class within 2 greater rifts of each other every set? Well, because then it's like it doesn't matter. Like what are you putting on? It doesn't matter. Whatever I get,
whatever I want to play,
whatever I get the best primal of is the set I'm gonna wear.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or whatever you want to play. And you know that like, okay, I'm gonna play Trag'Oul on Necro. I'm not gimping myself by like 30 GRs. Like it's just I want to play Trag'Oul. Like that's what I want to play.
I would definitely like to see all the sets within like 5. I think that would be ideal. That'd be perfect.
Sure.
2 perfect balance is impossible. I feel like I don't think they could ever do that. But if they nerfed everything and they had some really crazy balance and they were like, listen, the goal of this is to get balance. If we find outliers, if we find things, we are going to put them in line as fast as we can. Sure, I think people would be more accepting of it. Would people freak out? Yeah, people freak out over everything. I mean, Crusaders doing 140, fucking idiots. You know, I mean, it's just like, you know, if it's not your thing, you're pissed off.
Sure.
So I don't, I think that they've done. I think this season is fun to me.
Sure.
I took last season off quite a bit though, so maybe that has something to do with it too.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
But I'm happy.
Sure. Yeah.
Speaking of balance and items and design, the D4 team dropped the juice today.
Yeah, they did. They did.
If you guys haven't read this,
it's juicy.
It is super juicy. They dropped a D4 systems and design thread. I mean, I summarized some of it in the notes, but do you want to read it? Do you want to summarize it? It's pretty long.
Yeah, I mean, I think summarizing it would be the best. So
yeah,
the TLDR at the start here is basically they're just like, we agree, like we've kind of changed our mind. I think the most interesting thing is, when I asked the question that I asked in the Q&A panel that you were in, and I was like, it seems like we're just going to have a legendary in every slot, and that's like the point. And the guy was basically like, yeah. And then Quinn asked, are rares just going to become worthless? And the guy was like, well, I guess you could wear a rare if you felt like you had too much choice. And it was just like, whoosh, like that went over, like that completely went over the guy's head. And it seems like they've completely flipped where they realize, yeah, go ahead.
And to add to that, though, I think something that you didn't get to see is there was a little session where we got to talk with that same developer, and Llama asked, he kind of explained how rares and blues have value in Diablo 2.
Oh, at the breakfast thing.
Yeah. And so he got to explain that and I think really go into good detail, kind of in like almost a one-on-one scenario. And I think that had a huge impact on this. Like when I read this, I was just flashing back to that conversation because it was like a couple hours that we had to sit there and just mingle. And that segment was a good 10, 15 minutes of it where they were talking about this specific thing. So I think it's really cool, man. The interesting part is that they're listening to community feedback. I mean, they're like, okay, we hear what you guys are saying. It sounds good. We agree. We're going to do this. And it's almost like this is like a feeler, like, hey, we're thinking about this. What do you guys think?
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that.
And then they're going to take the feedback and probably spit some more details back at us.
Yeah.
So.
And to emphasize that, they bold, like, again, we feel it's important to stress it's a very early design, and we're sharing this so you guys can give feedback, basically, is what they say. But the important thing that they kind of really emphasize here, and I'm curious your thoughts on this. I kind of made a video already, but they say, quote, like their mantra for Diablo 4 going forward is, quote, easy to learn, difficult to master. What do you think? What are your first thoughts?
That sounds amazing. Pulling it off, I think, is hard. I think that's what you want. Every game should be like this, right? You want your new guys to pick it up. You want them to understand the basics. And then once they understand the basics, you kind of just want this like PoE flood of like, oh shit, I can do all this, you know?
Yeah, but is that easy to learn? I would say that like that's easy.
It's not
easy to get into. Is probably. I feel like the mantra I came up with would be easy to get into, challenging to learn, and difficult to master. And I think that says something different.
Yeah, I don't think that Diablo 4's focus is going to be as deep as PoE's ever will be.
Sure.
I don't think I 100% feel like Diablo 4 is going to be the casual player's ARPG forever. I think and I'm not saying that they can't have some in-game systems that are deep.
Sure.
But it's never going to be the deepest, the most in-depth ARPG. Like I feel like PoE is going to hold that crown until they decide to stop making it. You know.
Sure. I think that you're right, but I think that Diablo 4 has an opportunity to bridge the gap because obviously PoE 2 is not going to try to bridge that gap. I think PoE 2 is very much relying on, like, we've got our player base and like we're catering to that player base. We don't care about getting some of that casual juice. And I think that Diablo 4 has an opportunity to kind of reel in some people that like to come back. But if they stay on the noob side of the spectrum and even go further down the noob spectrum, which I feel like they've done, actually may lose more players.
Yeah, I think that they have to hook people. Let me try to think of how I can say this without making people upset. They have to hook people that aren't necessarily your super intelligent video game players, that are just like your casual, like, I'm gonna punchy and kill some monsters. You know what I'm saying? I'm afraid that they're gonna try to hook too many audiences. Yeah. And they're going to try to cater to the casuals, and they're going to try to cater to the non-casuals and the elites and all these other things. And I feel like they could end up going down the exact same road that Destiny 2 went down at launch. Destiny 2 did that where they tried to cater to the casual, and that shit backfired so hard. I mean, it was ridiculous how bad that backfired. Sure. Because all the casuals came and played for the first 3 weeks. And then they're like, well, we're out. Peace out, dudes. And then all your hardcores are sitting there with this system that's like, the fuck are we going to do with this? You know? Yeah. So, I mean, there's lessons to be learned there, and hopefully we can provide that feedback. But to me, I feel like what this is trying to say when I read this as we want people to come in and be able to play the game and probably do the campaign and get through it, no sweat. And then if you're hooked and you understand the basics, we got some deep shit for you. That's kind of how I take it, but maybe that's because that's how I want to take it.
Sure.
You know?
I think that is the dream, but that's not. I don't think that that's how I take it all, especially when they say that and then they follow it up with what we actually see.
Yeah.
So to move on a little bit, so they basically are just saying they're increasing the amount of affixes that roll on legendaries, rares, and magic items, basically doubling them, double it.
Yeah.
And so they used to roll 2, now they roll 4. But they've also added what they're calling 3 new stats. One is angelic power, which increases the duration of all beneficial effects like self-healing or buffs. 2, demonic power, which increases the duration of negative effects like debuffs and damage over time. And 3, ancestral power, which increases the chance of on-hit effects, aka proc chance.
Mm-hmm. So when I read the affix thing, I was actually a little disappointed, personally.
Sure.
The reason, here's my thought process, and maybe you have a different opinion. I'm interested to hear it. They're adding more affixes to blue and yellow in all items, legendaries, blues, and yellows, right? So to me, that doesn't make the game more complex. It doesn't make the depth anymore. It just makes RNG harder to get. So now instead of like, okay, so I need a legendary that's got whatever, let's say it's a weapon. I need the weapon to have crit, hit, chance, and cooldown, 2 affixes, right? Now it's got 4. So, okay, so now I got to get crit, hit, cooldown, damage, attack speed, and something else, So it's going to make that drop harder to get. But does it make it deeper? Does that change the choice of making that deeper? Am I going to replace that item with something else because now that other item has 4 too? Probably not. They're still going to both have 4 now.
Sure.
So, like, to me, it just seems like that's just the RNG increase, and I don't really get it. But, okay, so let's say that they're going to add the angelic or demonic or ancestral power as one of those things, right? So it's like, so say before it was going to be like intelligence and then armor on a chest piece, and then now it's going to be intelligence, armor, demonic power, and then something else, sockets or something, I don't know. Okay, so now it's just RNG though. So like now it's like, well, to make my build work, I need to have angelic power. So now I got to get that chest piece that's got those stats plus the angelic power plus the sockets in order to put it on. And it's like, did that add depth? To me, I don't feel like it's adding depth. I feel like it's adding RNG. And then the angelic power, demonic power, ancestral power, that you have to have so much to unlock traits. I don't like that system, but, it could work out good. At first glance, I'm like, man, I don't know if I like that,
Sure. Now, okay, so I agree and disagree. So, yes, to me, you want to add more affixes because, like you said, it does add that RNG factor. And so, like, it naturally increases the amount of time you are going to play to get those really good items. And I don't see that as a negative thing at all. Like PoE, you add 2 more to this pool, right? So PoE has 6 affixes, 3 prefix, 3 suffix, and you barely ever land like the perfect item. Like it just doesn't happen. And like so the grind for gear literally never ends. And I think that that's a great thing. Okay. So I don't see the adding more affixes as negative, but to iterate on that, it doesn't really feel like they're adding anything. So you see these like rank +2 ranks to Char to Ash requires 60 demonic power. Now, I'm pretty sure that was probably an affix before, like it could roll, but now it has like a angelic or demonic power gate behind it.
Right.
And so then they add these angelic power affixes, which is just to unlock affixes. So they're not really adding more affixes to the pool.
They just locked
They just
some behind
gated.
an affix.
Yeah, and then they added power.
It doesn't seem very polished to me, and that's not. When I read the system, I'm like, this doesn't seem cool. This seems like just it seems like barriers. I guess a gate is like a good way to say it, like you just said.
Yeah, it's almost like building sets into rares. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so this kind of made me think of Division. Division did something similar to this with Division 2, where you had to have so sets were Division 2 kind of. It's funny how it kind of mirrors Diablo 3. Division 1 had sets, and it was a set-heavy game, just like Diablo is, and their player base cried about sets. Sets are too powerful. You got to always use sets. We don't want sets. Sets are bad. Division 2 rolls along. They took away sets, but they put like kind of like this angelic power set bonus thing on like all the pieces. So it wasn't necessarily sets, but it was kind of like this, like a set thing. And it didn't work very well either. So I don't know, man. It just seems like you're locking powers behind gates, and you have to. You're just barriers. Like, okay, in order to make this piece work, I need angelic power. How can I get that? Let me throw on this other shitty piece just to get the angelic power I need. And is that a choice? I mean, I guess maybe. It's a choice. Do I want to have less vit and less strength, but have this affix, or do I want to just say screw the affix?
Right. But either way, I think that we'll both agree this is better than the original demo.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? It is more in depth than the demo.
I think what's really cool about this is I think that the team is really trying to come up with unique shit to not be Diablo 2 and to not be Diablo 3 and to not just straight copy any other ARPG. I think they're trying to think of new systems and new ways to make you get gear. And this is the first iteration. This is the first thing. I think it's pretty bold of them to throw this out there to the public, personally. And I think it's fucking cool that they did it. So, because I think a lot of people are going to start shredding this and being negative towards it. But I also feel like a lot of people are going to give good, positive feedback that they're listening to. And I think we're going to end up with a really good game if they continue this process. So,
yeah. So that's just that.
They changed attack and defense. So weapons, weapons only have attack,
right?
And armor only has defense, and jewelry has
nothing.
So I guess jewelry is going to have whatever
stat, just the affixes
stat they put in. Yeah.
Which
that's okay.
Whatever.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And the best thing is they're getting rid of ancients.
Yeah.
100% the best choice they could have done.
Yep. And like with adding these extra 4 rolls on items, I mean, like you were saying, it's adding tons of RNG to your item drops. So I think it's going to be really hard to get that perfectly rolled weapon that you want or whatever it is you're chasing. So
let me ask you this. So this last thing, I made the video and I feel like I've kind of sparked a debate, and I'm curious what you think. So they get this new consumable item where consuming it will add a random legendary affix on a non-legendary item. Like, how do you read that?
How do I read it?
Yeah.
I think it's like create your own legendary. It's like a wannabe crafting.
Do you read that as you like use this item and it puts on like just a random fucking affix?
No, I think the item is going to come with an affix on it.
See, those are the two sides. So the way it reads to me, the way it should read, PhD level reading, is legendary affix. It's a random legendary affix. Like, so you would slam, you'd slam an Exalted Orb in PoE. So you'd slam it on an item, and like it could be like, oh my god, I finally got this really, really good rare necklace, and I use this consumable, and it fucking puts like a wizard affix on there, and you're like, fuck, I'm on a fucking barb. Like, I just killed the item.
Right.
And to me, I think that'd be better than the way you read it.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I feel like the random could be cool. Is it destroying the item, or
No.
can we redo it?
It's just
So
like,
like let's
oh,
like
if you can
let's
re-put it on, probably
yeah.
not.
So like let's say you got a nice yellow neck, and you're like, oh, this is a pretty good neck. Let's go ahead and throw something on here, you know, and then you cube it, and you get an item power. You're like, oh shit, that's not what I want. I got
Sure.
it. And then a week later, you get another cube. Can you recube that same yellow?
I would, I mean, I would hope not, but probably. You know, if it A rolls like you know what it is, B you can probably override it. You know, in classic casual Diablo terms. But to me, I
Yeah.
think it'd be more exciting is if you couldn't, and it would actually give you a random.
I think it would be a super chase if it was a random affix. I read it as it's a consumable you're going to use on an item you're going to know what it does beforehand. It's going to drop with the affix on it, like it'll say cube of fucking rend or something, right? And then you know, if I put this on there, I get whatever that rend skill is.
See, that sucks because one, we already know we're gonna take up a ton of stash because we're gonna be like one for each. Gross. So I would go back to if you just had the one because you're just gonna slam it with like some fucking random thing. Then you don't have like 20 stacks of weird currency for every legendary effect that there is in the game. Like that's gonna be
Right.
terrible.
Yeah, I think randoms would be a chase. It'd be cool. It would make the game. It adds some excitement. It adds some mystery. It could add some depression. You know? It could do all kinds of stuff.
Emotional
It could add.
spikes.
You know, you're gonna get
That's the
some
point.
memes. You know, so yeah, I think I like it being random. I think I'd go with that. You know, and who knows what kind of weird things you could come up with, even if it's random. Like, let's say you had this neck and you have it on, and you're like, "Fuck, I got a cube. I'm gonna cube it." You throw a random power on there, it could be something you weren't even thinking of, and it's like, oh, that's
actually
pretty cool.
be pretty good. Yeah, exactly.
That actually works out pretty good. I like it. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, do it random.
And one of the things I love about PoE is corruption. Like, so you can corrupt any item, and it like modifies it in a way you have like zero control over, and it could like completely brick and make it fucking terrible, or it can like make it really good for your build, or it could just make it like it would hurt it like just a little bit. Like you could still use it, but it's just like it became less good. So like I love that about, and it's such like a good viewer experience. You know what I mean? So like everyone just like like ballot, you know, like corrupt it, and then like there's a chance if you do like a double corruption, like the item can like literally just disappear forever. And it's just like it's a great like stream moment. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm with you.
I kind of like
It's a gamble,
that kind of
man.
stuff.
It's rolling the dice, man.
Yeah.
It's like rolling the dice.
Diablo doesn't have anything like that. It just doesn't really, other than
So
like
it'd
reforging.
be interesting. It would be interesting to have
Yeah.
it. And then, you know, like I said, maybe they can put a way to cleanse the item or remove it, but it has a chance to completely destroy the item or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm down.
But that was pretty much the notes that they had. That was a brief summary. If you guys haven't read them, go check them out. It's, you know,
I don't know.
it's interesting. It's
My
cool.
TLDR from this is, you know, what you said about, I think that they're either not giving enough credit to the intelligence of the average player, or two, they're not giving themselves enough credit to be able to explain systems that are complicated to the average player. And I would much rather see the latter. And I think that, you know, PoE is wildly successful. And like I'm not saying I want PoE. I'm not saying I want Diablo 4 to be PoE, but like content creators, like we're here to also kind of help with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's something's really complicated, say they fail at explaining something pretty well, like that's what we're here. You know, that's why we're here. Like we're here to like make things, like to dumb things down and explain things like so that everyone can understand. Like, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, even if it's too complicated, like content creators can like make it less complicated. I don't know. I would rather have a game that's complicated.
And YouTube. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, what happens now? Like the thing back when WoW was first blowing up in 2004, like people didn't know what YouTube was. My mom didn't know what YouTube was. A lot of people didn't know what YouTube was.
Right.
And so now if you don't know something, you literally just YouTube it. It's like, oh, let me just search this in YouTube, and somebody's made a video on it.
Sure.
Promise. And so if it's not YouTube, it's in streamers, whatever. I agree. I would rather have the game be. I think more depth is less harmful than too shallow.
Agreed.
So
100%. That's a good way of putting it. That's a good TLDR, really.
Yeah. There's way more harm in too shallow. So the people who are going to stop playing because they don't get the systems are going to stop playing because the game's too shallow anyways. So, they're just going to stop. They're your casuals, man. They're there for a month. They rented the game. So, but it's cool that they're giving the feedback. They're asking for the feedback. They're telling us what they're thinking. This transparency is
it's dope, man. It really is.
Not
it's
Blizzard
so weird.
like. It's crazy.
Surreal.
This is like a independent developer style of transparency that's pretty cool, and I like it. I like it a lot. So,
but yeah,
cinematic
side news.
Yeah.
So some leak came out. Oops, wrong thing. That the guy that we see, we kind of very briefly touched on this before. We didn't know whether the guy was like, actually, I'm calling you mother because you're my fucking mom, or if it's just because like she's the mother of Sanctuary. And it turns out, so some guy, like, I don't know if you got like the raw version of the video or something like that, but in Premiere Pro you can set like markers and you can label those markers. And the markers from Blizzard were clearly labeled like guy stares into Rathma's eyes.
Oh, wow.
So like that's a pretty good indication.
How the fuck do you get your hands on that?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Like, somebody leave a jump drive laying around at fucking bar or something? Like, how does that even happen, man?
No idea.
Dude.
Yeah,
somebody's
apparently, I don't know what it means, like for the story or anything like that. We just know that that's actually Rathma, which makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah, which is who Rathma is? Pop quiz.
Yeah. So Lilith and Inarius, they made some friendship and they birthed Rathma, right?
That's correct. He's the first of the Nephilim.
So technically, he's our dad. Right?
I mean, I don't. He could be like
if
an
he's
uncle.
the first Nephilim, that means that he had to, do the dirty with somebody to make the
like a bunch of angels and demons were making Nephilim. So like we could all.
Okay.
Yeah. This is like a big orgy of angels and demons.
They had a big sex party. I got it.
Yeah.
Big party.
Good time. Good time to be on Sanctuary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Before the chaos. He looks remarkably familiar. Like, I don't know, man. It's like he took inspiration from something, from some other villain in a movie, and I can't think of what it is.
Sure.
Apocalypse, maybe, or I don't know, man. Something. We have to go back and hunt.
Well, it's that too. Like, so that maybe they took inspiration, but you remember the Immortal trailer when like Diablo was like at the end? And I was like, that's straight out of fucking Lord of the Rings. It literally is. It's Balrog.
I wonder if anybody's one-to-one that, if they've like put them together.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a big Twitch clip of me doing it after BlizzCon last year.
That's funny. Yeah. No, I never really saw that or even thought about it. Yeah.
Anyways,
but is what it is. It's cool. Is what it is. Let's talk about ExileCon, man, because you were there.
Yeah, it was okay.
Right.
So first,
it was the deal. It was the day. It was going hype. I'm chilling. I have the stream countdown on.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. I got your Twitter feed up. I'm like, oh, let's see what Fluff's got going on too, right? And this dude comes out on stage, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And this stuff just carried on forever. I was like cringing for like 15 minutes. They let that guy out there. So like, it was kind of cool. I'm not.
No, stop. All right. Stop. Okay, so
let's hear it. Let's just tell me what's up.
It was Einhar, who's the NPC from Bestiary, one of the leagues. Probably my least favorite league, to make things worse. And he comes out and he's pantomiming. I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't even know what the word pantomime meant.
Yeah, what does it mean? Break it down.
It's like someone comes out and like basically live role plays a character.
Okay.
and he's just like he does what he wants. Like he's improvising and stuff.
So it wasn't scripted at all.
Some of it, I guess,
I mean,
was,
probably
but I
part
think
of it.
most
It's
of it
probably the
wasn't.
direction.
Here's the thing.
Interesting.
And so I'm freaking the fuck out because one, it's like, holy shit. Like, how nerdy is this convention going to get? Like, I feel really out of place right now. And two, I just flew how far? Like, across the planet fucking Earth to watch this guy pantomime. But everyone around me, loving it. Fucking loving it. And so I'm like scouring the arena, and I'm like, surely there's someone like going like this, like me, and everyone's just like,
did you film these guys freaking out?
Yeah, I mean, I was like turning the camera, I was like, what is going on? Like, this is the weirdest shit.
I would have been there with you. I would have been looking at you like, what the fuck are we doing here, right?
So no offense to the actor, you know, it's just not my thing. It just wasn't my thing.
He did a good job of it, though. Right. I feel like
sure.
You know, I kind of knew the character he was acting like, and he made fun of the guy in the front row, saying he was like chubby and delicious or something. I don't remember exactly what he said.
Yeah,
but I'm like, okay,
but
cool.
It made me fearful for the rest of the convention. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just like, whoa, like this is not. Because I'm going there like expecting BlizzCon, where it's just like announcements and hype and
yeah. So that guy left. He got done with his thing, and they they walked out. Chris, right? Is it Chris?
Yeah, Chris Wilson.
Chris Wilson walks out. He sounded nervous.
Of course.
I mean,
this is a big thing.
No, Wyatt should have been nervous. Like, he looked.
Wyatt was nervous.
No, but Wyatt sounded calm when he was up there.
No,
though.
he didn't. Wyatt was
like
nervous
Chris.
as fuck.
Man, I don't know. I think Chris sounded more nervous than Wyatt did.
Probably equally nervous. But it makes sense. Like, these aren't public speakers. These are programmers turned public speakers.
I know. I'm just saying. So they get out there and they do their thing, man. And then tell me, like, what was it like? Like, it had to have been like, this is what everybody came for this, and they got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was wild because, you know, we had talked about, like, Chris Wilson he's a sneaky guy. He basically led everyone to believe, present company included, Pee-wee's never gonna get a graphical update. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, like, we're good. And so I said on the podcast, the last podcast, is like, well, if, you know, Pee-wee gets a graphical update, like, peace out, Diablo 3. Like, I'm fucking done. And then he fucking does. That doesn't age well. But yeah, man, it was insane. Like, to see it. Like, here's the other thing. So they had like an actual the screen wasn't like a projector. It was like this like $100,000 like LED LCD TV that was that fucking big. So it was prime. Like the quality was like really good. And so like they flashed it up there. And one of the things I found really amazing and interesting about that whole thing. So they play the PoE 2 trailer. It looks great. And the guy shapeshifts. And honestly, when the guy shapeshifted, that got I think a bigger applause than when they like that PoE 2 screen came up. It was like PoE 2, like confirmed.
That's what it felt like, you know, in the live stream I was watching too. So it was crazy. I'm like, oh shit, PoE they went Druid too.
Right.
You know? I'm like, oh man. It looked cool, man. Graphically, it's kind of hard to tell from the footage that we had. I needed some raw, uncompressed footage, and it's super hard to find because even if you watch it on YouTube, it's still compressed.
Sure.
Like it's still getting compressed.
Right.
So I would just tell people that are listening, Diablo 4 looked better in person than any YouTube video you've seen, and I imagine PoE 2 looked better than any YouTube video you've seen.
Totally.
I mean, they can still look good, but it's
it looked good. It looked really good.
So what looked better? You've played them both,
right?
Were they different in their own way that each of them still looks good, or was one like this one's better?
I think that Diablo 4 is a clear winner. However, PoE 2 is easily second best in slot by far.
Is it?
Like better than Lost Ark graphically?
Really?
Better than anything else, right? You know, like a year and it's weird because if you think a year and a half ago we played like Wilson for the first time, we're like, wow, these graphics are good. And now, by comparison to PoE 2 and Diablo 4, Wilson looks like shit. And Lost Ark I think looks really good. It's I think it'll still hold up against these two games, but
Lost Ark's a
they're on
different
whole
art
nother
style
level.
too,
Right.
though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's a completely different style. Interesting. That's cool.
looks
That's
really
what makes that's what makes me excited. Because when I was watching it, I remember thinking like, this doesn't look that good to me. Like the graphical updates didn't. It didn't.
Well, one of the things
I'm watching a live stream on Twitch, so it's compressed like a mother. And I'm just like,
one of the things that's super weird about it was the UI overlay was the same. So like you're looking at a game that graphically is like 5 times better than the original, but then you still have like the PoE overlay on it.
The fucking 1998 overlay.
Yeah, and so that was really, it was bizarre.
Did you ask anybody about that? Like, are you going to do a UI overhaul too?
I didn't, honestly. I would assume yes, they're gonna, but maybe PoE kind of just like worries about like obviously gameplay first, and so that might be something that they like progressively do over time. What was impressive? I'm curious your opinion on this. Is like literally every fucking microtransaction cosmetic is going to be ported to the new engine.
Yeah,
literally every single one.
That's a ton of fucking work.
Yeah,
man. And so either they have been anticipating this for a long time and they've been pre-building them to work at the same time. But that's crazy. That's cool. I mean, so that's I think one of the troubles, and Chris talked about it, was you didn't want to separate your audience. You didn't want to split down the middle and say PoE 1, 2, you guys are on a separate system. We're just going to bring you guys up to PoE 2 level 2. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome that they're doing that. And PoE kind of set the standard for ARPG microtransaction games. Sure. So it only makes sense, man, if you spent $500 for Legion Founders Edition or whatever they call it, your Legion shit comes to PoE 2 and looks amazing.
Right.
I think that's cool of them to do that.
But yeah, so PoE 2 gets launched, and then they come out and they talk about the Atlas revamp, which I wasn't even expecting. I mean, I get it. Like, to me, the Atlas feels really good still, but I haven't been playing as much as some of these other guys, and I assume that, like, they're probably pretty burned out. So, like, people are really freaking out for that, the Atlas rework.
Yeah.
And then they announced the new league mechanic, and that looks pretty in depth. Like it's this ever changing boss who like basically changes this into like all the bosses as you fight them, which is really interesting. I'm sure the rewards will be good. And then they came out and basically threw all that shade at Blizzard.
Immortal.
For the mobile game. Honestly, when that was playing, I'm curious what you thought, because you're watching it live. Like, I think everyone in the arena thought that it was a joke. Like, actually.
So I did too. I thought it was a joke for like the first couple seconds. And I realized way before the video was over that this is legit. No. And I don't think a lot of people did.
No, I didn't know.
But the shade, once they started the shade, I'm thinking like, oh my God, dude. I don't know how far in the video, but he said at one point, it was kind of hard to announce this with everything that went down last year.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Something to that effect. And that's when I was like, this guy's 100% legit. This is a thing, And I thought it was, oh man, I have two opinions on it at the same time. Part of me was like, damn, that's funny. And part of me was like, damn, that's kind of low. And like, I would expect you guys to hold yourselves to a little bit higher standard of class than that. Like, it's one thing for community people to do it. Like if it's, PoE players that are hardcore PoE players to post on the forums and post on their Twitters and like, fuck Diablo and all that.
Sure.
But like for GGG itself to kind of throw that much shade, I was like, I don't know, man. It felt a little dirty to me. But I can't sit here and lie and be like it wasn't. It did make me chuckle a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I thought it was pretty clever, like the mobile Fall Guy subtitle thing, and it's showing you have a good sense of humor. It is throwing shade, though. At the end of the day. I don't know. Well, maybe they're all really cool, and we have no fucking clue, right?
Yeah, it was definitely it's a thing, and here's the part of it is like this is fucking full-fledged PoE on your phone. This isn't like this isn't a knockoff game. And so to me, like initially I'm like, oh my God, they're throwing so much shade. And then I'm like, oh fuck, it's real. And then I'm like, damn, that's kind of dirty how they did that. And then I was like, this is all going through. And then a couple minutes later, I'm like, okay, step back for a second. This is fucking full-fledged PoE on your phone. What is this going to do to Immortal? Like, how the fuck is Immortal going to compete with a full-fledged title?
I'm glad you asked that.
On their phone. Because
I'm so glad you asked that.
Unless PoE plays like shit on the phone and it's just too complicated. Why?
Okay. Okay, so
right, I know you want to say, get it out there. Let's do it.
So, I got the opportunity to hang out with Quinn quite a bit, and one of the times I was like, let's go wait in line. Like, I had played PoE like probably 3-4 times already, PoE 2, and he's like, well, I don't want to go play PoE 2, and because he wanted it to like feel fresh, like when he got to play it for the first time on like the official stream. And I was like, that makes sense, like respectable. So he's like, do you want to go play the mobile game? And I didn't even honestly know it's the same thing with you. Like, you're like, yeah, Immortal's right over there. I'm like, wait, Immortal's here? Like, it was the same thing. And so Quinn's like, yeah, mobile game's upstairs. I was like, oh shit. And so one of the things that was weird is like, all you had to do is give him your badge and they would give you a brand new iPhone 11 Pro. And that had the game on it. And you could just like fucking walked out the door, which was like crazy to me.
Right.
But yeah, so like, and so we go up there, we give our badges, and then we like go sit on these bean bags that they had set up. And I'm playing like, you had to drag like the map into like the cartographer thing, and then like click activate, and then would like spawn the 6 portals. I mean, it was like you said, it's fucking PoE on their phone. And like I was in the map, and I'm like going through it, doing my skills, and the skill system's just like Diablo Immortal. It's on the side, it's the right thumb, and like here comes the loot spam. And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, you're sitting, like, I mean, your whole screen is filled with loot, and you're like, I want that, and like, okay, I'll take that. And then it's like, you haven't played a ton of PvP, but like, you spend like currency items, it just doesn't translate at all to a small screen. Like, it was terrible. Like, Quinn was playing his dude, and like his guy would like lock up and like automatically like walk around and like cast his spells basically. So he was like basically botting, and he's like, what the fuck? So he had to like take his phone up there and like get it fixed, and then like he sat down and played it again, and it came really clear. Like, I cleared the first map, and then like I was picking stuff up, and I'd teleport back, and I'd pick stuff up, and I'd teleport back, and I'd pick stuff up and teleport back. It doesn't work. It's fucking terrible. I hate the shit on GGG because I actually love a lot of the stuff they do. But there's zero doubt in my mind. Like, if we're talking about a mobile game, like, and you and I have said this, like, there's just no way Immortal's not going to be successful. It feels like a mobile game. It's
I
clean.
Agree too.
It's a polished mobile game. But at the end of the day, it's a mobile game, and we're probably not going to like it that much. Whereas PoE is not a mobile game. It is very clearly a PC game that they've just thrown on a phone, and it doesn't work. It was so bad. It was so bad.
That's interesting. That's nice info to have, because I'm sitting here looking at it like, if PoE is free to play and I can progress my main account on my cell phone while I'm on the bus or whatever the fuck, then I'm going to play that. I'm going to do that. And it's free. So I'm going to definitely do that. So I think this puts pressure on Diablo Immortal to, again, be free. I think there's no doubt in my mind Immortal will come out a free to play game with microtransactions. Because I feel like I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe PoE's got to get this right. They got to get it right. But if they do, it's so much pressure on Immortal. But that's cool. Like, Immortal did, like you just said, Immortal felt like a mobile game designed for mobile, played well on mobile, felt like Diablo on mobile, and it's going to play well. It's going to be a good mobile game. It's just a mobile game, and
Yeah, to me, it's like it's two completely different sides of the spectrum. So I think that. Like, Diablo Immortal is obviously demographic, even though they denied it. Alan had him, and he said like, "Oh no, we're trying to reach our core player base." No, it's meant for a bunch of new players, right? I think it'll capture some of the current player base because people will be interested in like what happens story wise between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, and like that, so they're gonna play it for the story one time or whatever. But it's probably more to get that that mobile audience. Whereas PoE mobile, I think, is strictly just for those PoE fanatics that are like, I have to go to like my girlfriend's like meeting tonight or something, and like
I'm a junkie. I got to go to the opera with my girlfriend. I'm gonna play it in my fucking
100%.
opera seat.
It's not optimal for a phone, but you can do it if you have to. And so I think that is the selling point for PoE mobile. I don't think they're gonna get any new players on just
because
the phone,
of it.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I could see that. All right. Well, it's cool that you got to play both of them because, like I said, man, seeing it that if it runs like crap on the phone or didn't feel good, then because Immortal felt great on the phone, and I especially liked it on the tablet. I thought it felt really good on the tablet too. So,
but
what else about ExileCon?
Let's so one thing that they had, and I kind of failed at this. So they had these trading cards, where you would
this is the T-shirt game, right?
Yeah, they'd have like actual physical cards, and like you could use your cards, and you would go up to like an enemy, a mob, which was like a developer, and be like, I want to attack you, and like you would do combat, and then you would like get loot, and there was like a crafting table upstairs that had like a line out the fucking door to like you would craft and get like upgrades and stuff like that, and then people would eventually they get to the point where like they had such good gear they could take on the Shaper, which was Chris Wilson,
right?
Or the Elder, I don't fucking know. And I was like, well, this is stupid. So I made a joke on Twitter. I was like, willing to trade cards for your spot in line to play PoE 2. And so someone like DM me was like, yeah, dude, I'm at the front right now. Like, will you give me your cards? I'm like, fuck yeah. And so I ended up trading my cards away, which was a mistake because like the only way I could have really seemingly rubbed elbow with developers as someone that didn't have a VIP or media pass or anything like that would be to have played that card game. When I had, I've got so much to say about PoE, and I didn't get to talk to like a single PoE person at all.
Wow.
Which was so disappointing.
Well, I thought you had a picture with Chris at some point, didn't you?
Yeah, I waited in the line. And fucking, because I was like, I want to introduce myself. The community manager was there, and Chris Wilson, and the other head honcho, and I was like, I want to introduce myself. So I was like, hi, Lord Fluffy.
So when you traded your cards, did that guy get out of line, or did he just let you butt?
No, he got out of line. We swapped. He was all about the card game.
It's just funny because I just would have been like, here, go ahead and get in front of me, dude. Yeah. And then give me your cards.
I
I would have kept my spot in line.
Would have been pissed, though. Because like it's a 45-minute demo. And so you wait in that queue for quite a long time. But yeah. And so
I thought they hooked you up with a media badge. They didn't get you media? They just gave you a ticket?
No, they didn't give me anything. I paid for everything, just like BlizzCon.
Oh, I thought they hooked you up. I thought you said the ExileCon dudes, the GGG hooked you up. Oh, shit.
But yeah, the demo itself. So I played 8-9 times. It's 45-minute chunks. So I played a lot.
Yeah.
It was good. When I first played it, I tweeted out like it was exciting yet unexciting. I mean, I still kind of stand by that because it was like I know it's going to be a good game because it's fucking PoE, and that's impressive. And it's got a new graphical engine, but at the same time, like combat doesn't feel more meaningful. It feels exciting and it's fresh and the graphics look really good. And it's this brand new campaign. So like I didn't know where I was going. And so it was like, it was also a lot more dark, like Diablo. So it was like blood and guts and like the first boss you encounter is like this giant fucking worm. And like you're going through his like kind of gross like worm cave. And like you would just like his head would pop up and you'd like hit him and then you'd be like, okay, like fuck off. You would retreat and then it would unlock the next area you would go to because his body was like blocking it. And you would like see like the whole animation and stuff like that. And he was pretty tough. Like all the bosses were like, they're all pretty tough. And they all felt good. Like the bosses felt like way better than anything we saw in Diablo 4. 100%.
Tell me about boss mechanics for a second. Did it have like wind up animations that you knew you had to dodge? Did it put red markers on the ground like Lost Ark? Like how did it?
Yeah, definitely.
How did they telegraph?
It's interesting because it's kind of the same telegraphs that we saw from Diablo 4, where it's like it wasn't necessarily a telegraph. Like Lost Ark, it's like it's a red highlighted area.
Like
yeah,
like
it's like it's a circle. Like it's kind of cartoony in a way, right? And I feel like Diablo 4 and PoE 2 did actually a decent job of like so if it's a circle, it's like a circle of blood, and that's like the telegraphed attack. Like don't fucking stand in that, right? Like something's about to happen there or whatever. But it doesn't look like a just a red highlighted kind of gimmicky thing, which I like. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. I think it was a little bit more hardcore than Diablo would have dreamed of, because it was like, okay, he does this thing and he's about to fucking plat. There's no way to warn you other than watching him. Right. You would just learn over time that like when he does that, like he's about to fucking do a frontal cone or something like that. So there's a lot of that, which is good. And they hit like a truck. You would get one shot. So, but they also said like, we want the demo to be hard, which I was like, fuck yeah. Cause it's like every year we play demos, like BlizzCon, like they're so easy. They're so easy. Yeah. It's like so hard to gauge.
I think I died on D4 to some of the one-shot mechanics by the world boss. But it was pretty hard to die in that demo.
Yeah.
It was pretty easy.
Right.
It's pretty easy.
But yeah.
So that's cool. And then anything else of note from ExileCon?
So the big thing from PoE 2 that they kind of gave us a sneak peek at was there's a new skill system.
I saw that, yeah.
And I think that
it looked a lot more noob friendly.
It's interesting you say that, because
you don't think so?
I think that was their intent.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to swap gear while you're leveling, because your gems aren't tied to that like piece of gear. It's on like a sheet, and those sockets are determined by what you wear. But I don't think it made it any more noob friendly than like just socketing the gems into the actual item. I feel like once you got it, like you got it in PoE. I don't think that other than the fact that, again, you can swap out gear like as you level way easier. I think that maybe was a big intent of theirs, but I think that they honestly feel like it's just easier to understand. And I don't think that it does that at all. Like, I don't think it's any more casual friendly, but that's just my opinion.
Okay. I would take your opinion of it. I think, I think that would be the big thing going forward for PoE, is to get new players. They need to make it more noob friendly.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that was kind of the direction they were going with that, and I kind of hope that's where they were going. I think I have enough friends that play PoE. I think, and with chat and stuff, I could figure it out if I got into it. But
yeah.
Joe Schmo over there that has no buddies that play, that just sits down and it's like, I'm going to try this game out. Like, he's fucked.
Sure.
Like, he's going to have to watch a lot of YouTube videos and really fall in love in order to stick around.
Yeah.
So,
or a Twitch streamer that just doesn't get spammed. Yeah.
Yeah. But cool, man. Anything else from Exile?
No, man. It was to compare the conventions, like in and of themselves.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we expected. Like ExileCon was a lot more personal and just a lot less busy, and loud. So like you could have a lot of conversations and lines, and it was cool because I feel like we just got way more opportunities to like hang out with other players and like creators and stuff like that than you did. Like BlizzCon doesn't really have any official like kind of, I don't know, like streamer meetups. I guess unless you have a media pass. Right. Other than that, it's like,
but no, even then, it still wasn't like you just kind of went to an area to see.
Yeah.
BlizzCon was so busy and so big and so many people. Like, you couldn't find somebody unless you specifically message them like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here at this time." And I lost my voice from screaming because it was so fucking loud. Like, it is so loud everywhere at that place.
Right. And so it's definitely a lot more chill and. Cool. Like having beers and stuff, like, and people.
Was it worth it? Like, was the experience worth? Would you go back again on your own dime? Like, if you had to fork out cash to do it again, would you? Let's say it was equal. Let's say it was like $1,500, because that's what a BlizzCon trip for us is, around $1,500. Yeah. Let's say if it was around that same price, would you be like, yeah, man, I think I'll do this?
Well, I keep holding out hope that one of these years I wanted to pay for it. But I mean, yeah, I would. I enjoyed it more than BlizzCon, not because what's the words here? Like, it was better because I was there for PoE, and that's all it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas BlizzCon's just
it's like
all
we
the
needed
games,
a Diablo con.
Right. And yeah, I don't know. I would. Here's the thing: is they did talk about how they're gonna. I think they're gonna plan. They plan on continuing to do it every year, and I think they mentioned that they're gonna do it in Vegas next year.
Oh,
so for me, that'd be like super cheap.
Vegas is cheaper everywhere to get to because Sin City. Right. The hotels aren't though, but yeah. Cool. Well, there's ExileCon, man. We got stuff. There's so much stuff. We talked about the D2. Let's jump really quick into this Halo Master Chief collection. So if I knew any former Halo pros, which I don't, but if I did know some,
cool.
If I actually knew a former Halo pro, I would wonder, how is he not streaming the Master Chief collection? Can't you actually get in Halo 2 and do multiplayer today, right now?
You can only do Halo Reach right now.
Only Halo Reach, okay.
And I've been curious. I haven't really watched anyone, but my big hang up over Reach would be like, is it pre-Bloom fix Reach, or is it like vanilla Reach? I know you don't know what that means probably, but
I don't know what that means. I watched Doc play it, and it looked like shit.
I did watch him play. I mean, he was pretty bad at it. So it was like, I watched Summit, like maybe like for 10, like, and he was better, and it seemed pretty like I could definitely do that. It'd be fun because like there's probably a lot of people that haven't played it, and like
there was a lot of no scope aim. It looked like going on too.
For sure, man. It's fucking PC. I can only imagine how powerful a Halo sniper would be in fucking PC because you don't have to scope at all. You're accurate as fuck.
It looked crazy.
Yeah.
So what's your plans for that? Are you gonna revisit it? You gonna just set it on the shelf because you just got back? Like, what's your deal?
I don't know, man.
What's going on?
I am conflicted. I want to play it, but I also I haven't got to play Diablo at all.
Yeah.
It's not like the Master Chief Collection is going in there, but if I keep waiting, maybe people will realize like they hate it and they'll just die off instantly, and then it's like, fuck, I missed the window. Conflicted, man.
Well, it sounds like you're sick tomorrow, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So just got back. I got New Zealand cooties, man. I gotta stay home for a couple days. Yeah, man. There's a lot more. On a side note, since we're talking so much ARPG, Lost Ark had a meeting with I guess the sister company, and I think we might have talked about this a little bit on the last podcast. They had like a sister company come in, and they talked about expanding to Europe after Japan. But apparently they've posted some job postings for business product managers, and in the descriptions it says must be very proficient and fluent in English writing and speaking. And then also an overseas service planner that again must be proficient in English writing and speaking. So it looks like Lost Ark might have realized, shit, we got to get this thing over to the West now if we're gonna do it, So that's kind of cool, man. That has me excited a little bit.
Yeah,
so
that'd be dope. Yep. I'm down, man. I mean, it sounded like PoE 2 wasn't gonna be ready till like Q4 2021, and at the earliest we think D4 would be like 2022. So I think
they're saying 2021 for Q4.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's like 2 years from now.
Wait, did I say 2020? I'm sorry, 2020.
2020. Okay. I was like, whoa.
Q4 next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got a little time.
Yeah.
A little time.
Get it done.
All right. Any fluff hates for this segment?
I like that you kind of guessed it.
I did guess it. You know why? You know what made me think about this?
What?
This is what, if you guys, so what's I put in our notes section, like Fluff and I have a document we shared to like type stuff together and like share notes. And I typed in there Fluff hates, and I put Christmas lull because I fucking know at some point this holiday season that's going to be a topic. But what made me think of it was last night, some of my viewers were like, play Christmas music, and I haven't heard any all season yet, and it's after Thanksgiving, which is usually when it starts. And I'm like, fuck it. So I threw Christmas music on for like an hour, and in my head, I thought, man, I bet Fluff would fucking hate this right now. He loses his mind.
So bad. So I'm in New Zealand, and everything's great. And I get on a flight, flying to Houston, get off the plane. There's fucking Christmas trees everywhere, and there's like goddamn like Frank Sinatra Christmas music playing everywhere, and Mariah Carey's shit. Like, oh my god, it's the worst. It's actually the worst. It's okay. Do you remember as a kid? So like we're both old as fuck. Was it immediately after fucking Halloween that they put up the Christmas stuff?
No, I think it's after Thanksgiving. I think historically it's always been after the day after Thanksgiving is the safe time. And so the funny thing is like my mom is like super Christmas like spirit, like in the Christmas spirit, like decorations go up the day after Thanksgiving my entire life, right? So, and it always sucked as a kid because she hides the Christmas lights like up in the attic, and you had to like crawl up. She always made us crawl up there and get these fucking lights down every year, and then get on a ladder and hang them on the roof and shit while she's just down there supervising. So it was always us that did it. And so to me, it was always the day after Thanksgiving because that's when my mom lost her shit and was like full Christmas mode. If I ever had a way to get out of it, I was gone the day after Thanksgiving, man. So
yeah,
I think it's acceptable the day after Thanksgiving to start.
but it is the day after Halloween now, basically. And
but
like
now
all the
they
shops.
keep moving it up. Yeah.
Right.
Like they keep like, fuck, man, I saw Christmas stuff before Halloween.
Really?
Like, you know how they have the holiday section at the stores? There was like half Halloween, half fucking Christmas stuff was going up.
So obviously, no surprise. You do these fluff hate sections just to make sure like everybody ends up hating me. I obviously hate Christmas. Like it's terrible. It's like the worst holiday you can imagine. I'm sorry if you're religious, but oh my gosh, it's such a consumerism holiday. Like it's not about like even appreciating what you have. It's just like what don't I have? I need that. Like someone buy it for me. It's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah. And
like,
you hate Thanksgiving because we're a fat country.
Yeah.
And you hate Valentine's Day because
it's also a corporate holiday.
Yeah. Fluff likes what holiday?
It's like about buying me stuff, It's like, come on. This is why. Okay, so I feel like everyone needs to travel a little bit, and I don't mean to sit on like a travel high horse and be like, oh, like I'm so cultured because I fucking travel, but like traveling a little bit, and especially to like not first world places, I think does give you some perspective on like something like Christmas. To go to somewhere like Belize or like even worse, I don't know, Ecuador, and then come back and Christmas is on. It's just like, Jesus Christ, like we're a virus on this earth. Like it just sucks.
we have no idea what poverty's like
Right.
and what people who actually need things
Right.
are like.
It's like, Mommy, Daddy, I need a new iPad. It's like, fucking hell, man. Like
at the same time as somebody who has kids,
Sure,
it's phenomenal to be able to give them things, because I'm lucky that I'm privileged enough to be able to buy my kids things like that, So it's like when Christmas happens and then you get to see them open the things they want, it's rewarding as a parent. But I 100% get the other side of it, where it's super commercialized now. Every holiday is super commercialized now. It's like Black Friday is like an invented American holiday to get us to spend money. It's like, wait, if we overmark shit all year, we'll put it on sale for the real price one day a year. It's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
But they got me, like Cyber Monday, I bought shit, it's like, fuck. But I wanted it. So
cool.
there you
Cool,
go.
man.
Fluff hates Christmas, guys. Scrooge.
Do you go through this? Like my parents, like every year they're like, oh, what do you want? I'm like, please, don't get me anything. Please. I'm begging you. Please. And I always get some kind of like tool. Like I don't know. I didn't even know like the difference between like like a left-handed screwdriver. Like I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I never was thing either. I thought screwdrivers were just
Yeah.
ambidextrous. You can just use them and
So. And then like one year they got me this like indoor wood chip grill. Like it sat in my cabinet for like 3 years until I just like left it at a friend's house as a joke. But it's just it's such a waste. Such a waste.
No, I don't. My parents don't get me much. Like they'll ask, and I'll just give them something super cheap.
Yeah,
you know, because I'm like, if I don't tell them something, they'll spend money and get me something I'm not going to use. So I'm like, I might as well. They're going to get me something, so I might as well give them something. And it's usually something that I kind of want, but I don't want to spend money on myself.
Sure.
Like let's just say, for example, I need new work polos or something. Like I hate spending money on work clothes. I don't know why. It just bothers me.
Sure.
Right. So like I hate buying work slacks. I'll just like, yeah, buy me a polo. You know what I mean? And then there you go. Now and I don't have to buy a new shirt.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah. It's terrible.
That's it. That's all we got.
It's not
for the
all
pod
there is. It's just all the time.
That's all we got.
So much.
Is there anything else that you wanted to hit before we go into?
I mean, it can wait till next week. Hopefully there's not a fucking just plethora of news. I mean, I don't want to say hopefully there's no news. But
I hope there is.
Yeah, of course. Right. But Jesus Christ.
Hope there is.
We're gonna be playing catch up.
You guys took the break off because it's been so long since podcast. If you guys want to submit questions for the New Meta podcast, you can tweet them at me, at Lord Fluffy. You can join our Discords. If you're in chat live, you can just do !Discord or !PChild. YouTube videos, just scroll down. You'll see the links in the description below to ask those questions. But the first question we have this week comes from Key-Ray, and he says, how long do you think Season 19 is going to hold your interest, or is it going to be gone by the time of this podcast? This was asked before the season started. This is an older one. So I'm still playing. I'm still into it right now. I would say I'm being smart this season. I'm not touching Diablo out of stream. So that's limiting my playtime a little bit, and I'm going to throttle myself a little so I don't burn out. I'm going to say it's going to take a month before I'm kind of like, okay, I'm backing off a little. 2 months, I think I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to play other games. Pretty much, a lot.
I haven't really like pushed yet, so I feel like if I push and it's just like fucking hell, like this kill streak thing is just ridiculous. It might frustrate me, and I could be done, or I could be like, oh, this is pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying Barb at the moment. Once I get the Barb where I'm content, I'm happy. I think I'm probably going to try Crusader. Speaking of the Monk set, I was just playing around before the season started on a Monk. I had all normal gear. I did have a little bit of Paragon. I think I had like 3,000-ish Paragon in them. But one of the first rifts I did, I hit the Rift Guardian for a quintillion. Or quadrillion, sorry. I said quintillion. For a quadrillion. I hit a Q, man. It was super satisfying to just completely erase the Rift Guardian from the game. He spawned, pop, and he was just gone. And I'm like, the fuck? It's some of the sets are rewarding and they're fun to play. The question I think I have is, are we going to get the new sets for the next season? Are they going to be ready in time? At least something. Because then it's like, well, then I need to play Monk this season, and I need to play Crusader this season.
True.
So,
I wonder what the next two are going to be. I hope that oh my gosh, they better give some necro changes. I need to spam those Diablo guys and be like, here.
Whatever you want, you better not ask for. So if you want Necro next, you better.
I don't want Necro next. I want the changes. I want Necro changes. Necro can wait till last. It doesn't bother me. I just want the Necro to get some changes, some quick wins. Okay. That's all I want. Anyways.
I think Necro's in a pretty good spot right now.
What? Excuse me.
Non-existent? It's in a pretty good. No, I'm just kidding. I like Necro. I really like Necro, to be honest with you. I troll you a lot, but I do like it.
I hate that we've fallen so far off the speed meta. It honestly wouldn't bother me if we were 10 GRs under everyone on the push. But the fact that we're like 10 to 20 GRs under everyone like solo speed farming, like that bothers me. It bothers me a lot. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like we can best do like 90s at the start of the season. Everyone else can do hundies like out of the box. Like it's.
I think Necro's on the chopping block for new stuff. So one of these, towards the end of the season, we'll have to start putting our guesses in as to what we think the new sets will be and what skills and stuff they could go for. But I think this season's going to hold me to get back to the loop back around to the original question. It's going to hold my interest until I burn out of new things to try. Whirlwind is super fun right now. It's historically one of my favorite classes. I mean, it's what we played way back in vanilla. So at least what I tried to play for a while, it was fun. I'm going to hit Crusader for sure before the season's done, and then potentially touch Monk. So a couple months, I think.
Hell yeah.
The next question that comes from Onion. He says, do you see real money trading going on in D4 with the one-time trade items? Depends on the system they launch. If they let us trade any item one time, abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
100%. There will be websites and eBay and everything you could possibly imagine. If they only let you trade specific items that aren't really that powerful, then maybe a little, but it just depends. And you see good points from it. Like, again, I referenced the conversation. Llama's put a lot of stuff out there arguing for the everything tradable side.
Gross. Llama, you're wrong.
And there's other arguments against that. And if I listen to a video of each, I'm like, ooh, those are some good points. I like it. And then I'll be like, I think I'm on that side. And then I'll listen to the video on the other side, and I'm like, oh, those are some good points. I like it. I think I'm on this side. So I am like writing the line on it. It'd be interesting. I think maybe one of the future podcasts will make some debates, and I'll play the trade everything side, and I'll let you play against, and we'll see. We'll have to argue some points.
You're dead.
I probably am, because I'm not going to make the things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get Llama on the podcast is what I'll try to do, and let you two go at it.
Shit. Head to head.
Head to head.
Be smart.
So, yeah, it'd be fun to try to do that.
Yeah.
So, I think anytime there's money. I mean, still, even in World of Warcraft, people sell items now today, and most of that system is BOE, but you can still buy non-equip, items.
Sure.
So. Big Unit 20 says, do you think Hadrig's Gift or something similar should come back to Seasons in D4? Absolutely not, personally.
No, oh my God. Yeah, no.
Absolutely not.
No. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. In Diablo 3, people are like, oh, kill Hadrig's Gift. Honestly, like, it doesn't matter. Like, people are... I'd like to... Like, if I had the option, like, if I had my finger on the delete Hadrig's Gift button, I'd hit it. But it doesn't... Like, people are still going to just fly through day one. Like, you might see, like, a 100 Paragon difference at the end of the day. Like, it would not slow people down that much.
I think it would slow a lot of the casual players down a bunch.
Sure, of course. Of course.
I think the guys that are going to go crazy anyways, they're going to get it. It might put a couple hours on them before they get started, but they're just going to loot share. Like, what do you need? Okay, they're going to get that. As soon as the one guy gets in T16 carry mode, then it's done. The rest of the team doesn't matter, because they got blood shards to spend. They got keys for rifts. I mean, that's when the ball starts rolling. So,
yeah.
I know it was like that for us. As soon as we got the one guy that could clear 16s on night one.
Yeah. It's done.
It was done.
Yeah.
It was done. So.
True.
Go ahead.
No, that's all I would say about that.
Okay. Dirty says, did you apply for any of the GGG job postings?
I mean, honestly, I was hoping to rub elbows, like I said, with like some developers. I honestly wanted to like kind of like plant the seed of like, hey, you guys could like really use like an SSF developer, like just someone focused on like SSF and like having like different rule sets for SSF and stuff like that. I was like, I would love that. And so I was hoping to like plant that seed and be like, hey, do you need somebody? But I didn't get to talk to anybody. I didn't apply for anything. But here's the thing: the website says please don't apply unless you are like already have a visa to like work in New Zealand or you live here. Like, so I'm not gonna just be like, yo, give me the job. Oh shit, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna move. You know what I mean?
Well, what does it take to get a visa?
No idea.
Well, okay. Hypothetically,
Sure.
you apply for a job, you do the conversions, you look up the cost of living in New Zealand.
Sure.
You're like, okay, I can make pretty close to equal to what I'm doing now.
Yeah. In my real life
Would
job?
you do it? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Without hesitation.
You'd be like, peace.
Yeah.
What if it was like 30% pay cut?
I mean, can I sell my
get to move
house?
to New Zealand.
Like, can I sell my house easily? I don't know.
Yeah, you applied. They said, yeah, we're gonna pay you this salary. It's 30% less than what you make now. We'll give you a little bit to like help you get moved over here. You know what I mean? And get set up. And you're like, Would you? Okay.
Do I
first
get
off,
it? Am I the SSF developer?
Sure.
Sick.
You go to Lindsay and you're like, hey,
Yeah.
GGG offered me this job. Are you down?
Right.
What does she say?
She's like, I'll figure it out. No problem.
She moved to New Zealand too, you think?
Oh yeah.
Okay. There you go, man. What if she's like, I'll go with you, but you got to put a ring on it? Well, guys, that's it for episode 77. I just got Fluff in trouble. So I will catch, if you guys want to catch more of me, you can find me everywhere. Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, at just ThaPChild. Just search ThaPChild, at ThaPChild.
Hell yeah. And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. And we'll see you guys next week. We're not missing next week.
Next week,
We're back.
78.
We're not really missing any for a while, right? Shit. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. No, is it gonna fall on
do
my
you have
birthday?
to? It's Christmas Eve or something. Do you have to leave? Oh, you know what?
It is Christmas Eve.
I'll miss the 31st. I'll be in another country. Shit.
Well, maybe we can we might have to move to like Monday for a couple days or something.
Okay.
Because Christmas Eve would kind of suck too, I think. But
We're done.
we'll see.
Word.
We'll talk
Anyways,
that out.
yeah.
All right.
Peace out, dudes.